And what he wants to do is to get people to believe that God doesn't tell the truth. To get people to believe that they have a right to question God and they have a right to doubt that God has told them the truth. He really solicits people to believe God lies and He tells the truth. And that's what He did. He says in a very somewhat benign way initially to Eve, "You shall not eat from any tree of the garden." Is that what God said? Let's talk about what God said. That is, in fact, similar to what God said. God said they could eat from any tree of the garden, every tree of the garden, but there was one tree that they were not to eat of. Well, Satan sort of introduces the issue. Let's talk about God's prohibition. And this is where solicitation to temptation comes initially. It comes when you question God. The assumption here is that you have a right to render human judgment on what God commands, on what God provides. And that's where things begin to come apart. At this point, Eve should have said, God has made it very clear, and that's all there is to that. We will uphold the Word of God, and we will honor God, and we will trust God. But she got lured into the idea that she could sit along with this being she was talking to in a position of judgment on what God had said. In fact, the implication was that God was not really good. If God was really good and really cared and really loving, He would never have put a restriction at all on them. The idea is that God is restrictive and God is narrow and God is cruel and Satan is generous and Satan loves freedom while God really is into bondage. That's the way the dialogue goes. And Satan begins to try to lead Eve to think of God as restrictive.